Hey guys, this is Chris and welcome back to another edition of Hacking IELTS. In this episode, we're going to be talking with J.R. Lee once again here in Dubai, and we're going to see how he handled the reading section of the IELTS exam. Let's see what tips he can pass on to you guys. Well, we've covered the listening. Let's move on to the reading section.
Yes.
And the reading section is definitely one that most people tend to struggle with. So with regards to the reading, do you remember any of the three passages that you were given for your exam?
Yes, I do. So this is what I observe in the reading test. Okay.
Okay.
It has 4 sections. Okay.
Right.
The first 3 would I say, you'll be able to manage it. The questions are pretty straightforward. When you read the story or a paragraph, you'll be able to determine what will be the correct answer. So you'll get past that easily. And I think we were only given an hour to complete the reading exam.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The huge challenge is that when you go to section 4, okay, the degree of difficulty increases because section 4 of my exam is like this. There are like Italians, Greeks, Chinese, and then under the Italian section, there's this paragraph mentioned, and under that, Chinese, something like that. So it's like a question about time on how it was invented and how it was used during back then when we didn't have these watches. Okay, so how did these nationalities were able to determine what time is it? Because back then, of course, you cannot tell it's 7 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and then the questioners would be based on that paragraph, right? But here's the tricky part: the questions that is being asked during the exam, you won't find the exact word or the exact sentence on that paragraph.
Right.
It's tricky. Okay, you need to interpret it in such a way that okay, I think this is the correct answer. And for some questions, they require you to answer or give 2 choices. So if the question has like A, B, C, D, or even E,
Okay.
you need to pick up
Right. There would be for the multiple choice where
yes
you can choose
two
more than one answer.
more than one answer.
2 answers, 3 answers.
So basically, I think if you've selected only one answer, which is correct, but you fail to select the other correct answer, you'll automatically get it wrong, right?
Yes. For the reading, there were the 3 passages, and they're progressively getting more difficult.
Yes.
So, passage 1, what was that about?
I can't remember basically passage 1, but what I can tell you is about passage number 3. So passage number 3 is like different shops, different restaurants, and the questions is that, say for example, which place offer a lot more options than the rest. So there are restaurants, there are tire services, bicycle services, and I remember it's on the auto services because it clearly says that we offer a lot of services. So basically, you'll be able to pick up from that. So that's where I'm saying that from the questions, it's literally written that the answer would be that. Unlike in section 4, you won't easily find the answer. That's what I'm saying.
So, the point is, I think that people need to find the similes
Yes.
and make sure that they have a wide enough vocabulary
Exactly.
so they're not just trying to find that one word in particular, but a variation,
Yes.
something that's going to be similar.
Yes.
And within context, being able to find that.
Exactly.
Were you looking at the clock at all? Were you clock watching for the readings, making sure that you had enough time because there's 60 minutes, 3 passages to get through, 3,000 words to get through?
Okay. First of all, when you go inside the testing room, you're not allowed to wear watches, bracelets.
Right.
You're not allowed to wear cell phones. You have to remember that. There's a clock in front. So I think that's a good point. When I was in section 1, 2, 3, because like I said, it's pretty manageable, I did not look at the clock. But when I reached section 4, that's the time where I was conscious about the time.
Right.
right? Because the degree of difficulty increases in
Yeah.
section 4. What I can advise people who will be taking the IELTS exam with regards to reading is that there are questions where it's because when you read the paragraph, I scan through it. Okay, sometimes
Yeah.
I don't read the entire paragraph.
No, teachers normally will advise to anyone
Yes.
taking the exam, you've got 60 minutes and 3,000 words of
Words.
text.
Yes.
Nobody has time for that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's basically looking at the questions
yes.
and then what do I
Yes,
need
scanning,
to find?
yeah.
Skimming, scanning, reading for
Yes.
detail, and then just going back and having that eye on the clock for
Yeah,
each of the sections.
exactly.
And you're saying that was the most difficult passage, and it always is,
Yes.
passage 3.
Yes.
So what a lot of teachers would suggest is that we steal time from passage 1, passage 2.
Yes.
Because normally what we would do, we would just divide things equally, right?
Yes.
So 60 minutes. Oh, I've got 20 minutes
Yes.
for passage 1, 20 minutes for passage 2, 20
yes.
minutes for passage
Yeah.
3. And rather than doing that, since passage 1 and 2 are going to be substantially easier,
Yes.
spend
yes.
less time, like
spend
18
less time.
minutes
Yes.
on the first one, and same thing for passage 2.
And-
So you've got more time, and making sure that you're going to budget and manage
Exactly.
that time to get through the most difficult passage.
Yes. And one question I remember, it's section 3, and it's already the last question. But the answer, it's on the first sentence of the paragraph.
Okay.
So you're expecting that as you answer the question, you would normally guess that the answer would be somewhere in the middle or towards the end of
Right.
the paragraph.
Right.
But it's kind of tricky. The answer is on the start of the paragraph.
Yeah, and anytime there's a theme for a passage or a paragraph, it's going to be always in the first sentence or the last sentence
Yes.
for the most part.
Yes.
And it's your tests, so you can mark it up how you want.
Yes.
Like
yes.
you could underline that first sentence or last sentence. You can
Exactly.
circle it.
Yeah.
Arrows,
You can
stars.
do almost anything with that. What do you call this? The material that
The
they give you.
question
You can
booklet.
Question booklet. Yes. You can write anything to that.
All right, guys. Well, I hope that you found this helpful and that J.R. Lee had some valuable insight for the reading section of the IELTS exam. In our next episode, we're going to see how J.R. Lee handled the writing section. Don't forget to visit our courses online at hackingielts.com. We also have our exam guide available on Amazon and Apple Books. Take care, guys, and catch you in the next one.